Hello, welcome back to another video, and today I want to quickly talk about the shells in War Thunder and the right targets to use them on. This is just a quick tutorial on the best time to use a certain shell. Apologies if I sound stuffy as I am kind of sick right now, so let's get into it. First thing I want to start with, ground vehicles. So I'm just gonna use the tiger because it has the most variety of shells, pretty much. So if we go into the shells here, you're gonna want to use this armor-piercing, ballistic-capped shell here for pretty much every target you see, heavily armored targets. So like Shermans, and it's just your main shell for tanks. Never use just an armor piercing composite rigid shell because yes, it does have a ton of penetration, but it does like no damage to anyone inside. So you have to throw a lot of them at every crew member if you want to knock out a tank. This also has pretty high penetration, but it can be easily thwarted by tanks with add-on armor. As we can see, this Panzer here. Let's see if we can see that it has this add-on armor here with gap. So if you throw a heat shell, let's go protection analysis, rank 4 German, I think it is. Okay, rank 5. Oh, that's rank 4. There we go. And we take one of these heat shells and we throw it against the side. Like you can see that there's not a lot of penetration going on. Like you're not gonna be doing any damage. But if you're not aiming at this extra armor, it does have a pretty decent amount of penetration, actually a really good amount of penetration, and some alright damage. So yeah, it's pretty good. So there's that. And then if we come over here, let's go back into this, and we have our HE shell. You're basically going to be using this for every open top, as the shell basically explodes when it hits its target and will one-shot every open top that you see. So yeah. If we go into like top tier, like say this guy, this is basically a better version of a heat shell. This is another just heat HE shell. And then these armor piercing ones are basically the ballistic capped ones, or another. Come on, where is it? Come on. They're basically the modern version of these guys. Yeah, so you're just going to be using that shell a lot in top tier. And then we can also see this high explosive squash head. It has some nice penetration. Um, yeah, nice penetration, and it's basically a modern version of the HE shell. It's still pretty high explosive, so yeah. Obviously, you're going to be using this on the ground just to shoot other tanks. And for SPA, I mean, a bunch of armor piercings, I guess, and armor piercings, fragmentation. You'll take down any plane if you hit your shots, no matter what belt you use. I don't think there's any extra. No. So I guess we'll move on to planes. And I'm not going over naval because I don't have time. So let's choose our A4 over here. So stealth means that when you fire a bullet, there's usually a line, like a trace behind it. Um, but with stealth, whenever you fire a bullet, it'll be invisible. Um, so your enemies won't see your rounds coming. If you have like a pretty good aim, these are really, really helpful because they'll never see you coming. Tracers are every round you fire has a trail, so it's like a machine gun basically. And these are if you have not so great aim, not so great aim, and you want to see where your bullets are going. Universal is tracers, armor piercing, incendiary, and then armor piercing incendiary. It's universal like its name. And default is just incendiary, and then tracers. Now, if you're using a plate with a very big cannon, sometimes you'll find ones for armored targets. So it's a high velocity armor piercing shell. As you can see, it's got a 163 millimeters penetration and around 96 at the least. But I mean, you're not firing a shell from 2 kilometers away and hitting. So then we have ground targets with only a tiny bit of penetration, but it explodes like really, really violently. So it'll take out all your open tops. And that's pretty much it. I don't think there's any extra shells. If I did miss any, just let me know and I can, I guess, make another video on this. So, bye.